Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
It's time for another daily dose of Dismal Disney.
I don't know what to call this.
So there is a commentary that has been making the rounds on social media and has been angering many people.
I saw it this morning, actually. And here's the thing. I didn't know what to take with it because Orlando Sentinel, normally, it was unusual they posted this because normally they skew very left. They're saying they're center left. I say they're more left than center left because I'm center left. And some of the things they post, I'm like, It was an op-ed piece, okay, that goes kind of against the narrative they usually spin. And they kiss Disney's ass usually too. So it goes against that too. I think this is called We Need Views.
Yeah, and it's trending on Twitter. It's getting all kinds of traffic, guest commentary, opinion. I love Disney World, but wokeness is ruining the experience. We're going to talk about this because Twitter is losing its shit over this.
Else is new?
But again, the reason for the Orlando Sentinel posting this, I do not think it's because they agree. I think it's because, they're trying to call out wokeness themselves.
Well, it's because I'll tell you why they're doing it. Because they had an office. I think that they lost their office, didn't they?
They did.
And then they've been making these pleas for people to pay to subscribe, or you don't hide the ads because they need money. They desperately need hits. They knew this would get hits. It's trending on Twitter. They're getting the hits they wanted. This is more, I think, to do about money than it has to do about anything else. Yeah,
so we're going to talk about that because a lot of the points brought up, these are points we brought up before.
Some of them. I don't agree with everything he says.
Some of them, yeah. But it's interesting because people are like, oh my God, that they're probably just doing the Splash Mountain thing for money, right? Not because of...
That's exactly what we said.
Made that point many times. It's all about the princess merch.
It's about the timing, which we'll talk about in a minute. But before we get into that.
Before we get into it, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're over 186,000 subs. Thank you so much.
Finally. It'll take another month to get another 1,000 because I'm sure YouTube will make sure of it.
YouTube is up to some shenanigans, guys. I'm telling you. Check and make sure you're still actually subscribed. Just because you see our videos on your homepage doesn't mean you're subscribed. It means that they're recommending those videos to you because you've watched previous videos. Something's definitely going on with indie news sources on YouTube. They're going through and I think kind of downgrading them in the algorithm. We're still getting the same amount of views, so thank you for that, but we're not picking subs up. I don't think we're being promoted outside of our existing viewership.
Share with your friends.
Share with your friends.
Anyway, back to this. So yeah, this article came out today, this op-ed piece. People are having the meltdown hissy fits you'd expect them to have. But let's look at the article.
Yeah, so we'll look at the article first, then we'll go to the commentary, which is very colorful. I love Disney World, but wokeness is ruining the experience, says Jonathan Van Boskirk. My family and I have been loyal Disney customers for decades. We vacation at Disney World every year. We take a Disney cruise every year or two. Consequently, we spend way too much money in Orlando.
Sounds like you do.
Unfortunately, I am strongly rethinking our commitment to Disney and thus Orlando. The more Disney moves away from the values and vision of Walt Disney, the less Disney World means to me. Disney is forgetting that guest immersion is at the core of its business model. When I stand in Galaxy's Edge or Fantasyland, I know I'm in a theme park, but through immersion and my willingness to set the real world aside, something magical happens.
Okay, people are like having a fit, like you're entitled. It's like, here's the thing though. Disney's whole damn business plan and marketing is that you are a part of the magic. That is, the immersion is what they sell. The reason they justify charging the ridiculous prices they charge is because, well, you're fully immersed. It's about you leaving the world behind and coming to us. And when you're here, it's all this world that you're part of. And the immersion and the brand is part of why they say they charge you as much as they charge you. So I don't always have to agree with this dude, but he's right in the fact that he's saying, I'm paying the extra money to go to Disney for the quote-unquote Disney difference, and it's supposed to be fully immersed.
Yeah.
So he's not wrong there.
That we'll give him. Okay, so the spell is broken when the immersive experience is shattered by the real world, and boy, has Disney been breaking the immersion. I wouldn't disagree with that. Recently, Disney announced that cast members are now permitted to display tattoos, wear inclusive uniforms, and display inclusive haircuts.
Okay, this is true. But what I've seen of it, it hasn't been that bad. I I don't see what the big deal is on a lot of it. I mean, it's within limits, and so they're not like running around with people with, Mickey with a big schlong on their arm or something like that.
Carny folk.
Yeah, it's not like that. It's like there's guidelines on it, and when you see the outfits, they still seem to be themed to the area like everything else. The haircuts I can't speak to because I haven't really seen that, but the costuming and the tattoos seem to be mostly, keeping the immersion for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I look, we did a video about the rule changes. I don't think they're that bad.
I don't either.
I mean, they're even saying you can't have like multicolored hair. It's got to be a natural color.
Mm-hmm. I just worry that this is like
open
the line. Yeah. The line is going to keep moving now because you gave an inch, and now the line is going to have to keep moving and moving and moving to a point where it does become too far. But right now, I don't think it's that bad. If I'm being completely honest.
I don't think so. I think they've honestly on a lot of those rules, like I said, I've cited some examples in a previous video. I think they'd actually been sort of loosening up on those unofficially.
I think they were going to anyway.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to be mentioning a lot. I think Disney was going to do that anyway, but they're just trying to do it now so they can leverage it with the PR spin at the same time.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in regards to Splash Mountain, because Splash Mountain, that change was in the works before.
Yes,
Black
it was
Lives
rumored
Matter.
for quite a while. The art came out awfully quick for the concept art.
It's because it was done.
Yes.
It was already done.
I think it was just a matter of they knew it was going to be a hard sell, so they broke it when they did, because they knew they were going to do it anyway, to try to leverage it that if you say something bad against it, it's because you're anti-whatever, and not because, maybe you honestly thought it was a bad idea. They're going to leverage that for you can't say it's bad or you're a bad person. And that's what the timing is what matters here. It was already going to happen. But continue.
The problem is, he says, I'm not traveling across the country and paying thousands of dollars to watch someone I do not know express themselves. I am there for the immersion and the fantasy, not the reality of a stranger's self-expression.
Again, Disney has sold it this way for decades. I don't necessarily, I would still go. It doesn't bother me, but I can see why it would bother some people.
Yeah, Disney always, this is the thing. Disney's always tried to be like, we're better than the other theme parks. Mm-hmm. We're better than a carnival.
Our people are the nicest, friendliest. And a lot of people have been complaining lately about cast members having attitude problems. I can't speak to that. Usually they're really nice when I've been there.
Well, this is what happens when you let tens of thousands of employees go, and you let employees go that have maybe been there for a long time to replace them with cheaper employees. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. He says, I do not begrudge these people their individuality and wish them well in their personal lives, but I do not get to express my individuality at my place of business.
Well, that's not, there are a lot of places have guidelines, so I can understand that somewhat.
And he said, were they going to end the rule barring onstage cell phone use by cast members?
See, there he's just being ridiculous.
I think you're reaching.
I think you are reaching, dude.
More broadly, like many corporations, Disney has been politicizing its business.
They have been politicizing their business. That is true.
Full disclosure, I'm a Christian and a conservative Republican. So the people, no pun intended. So the people who run Disney and I do not see eye to eye.
Oh, dude, that's why they're going after him on Twitter.
Yes.
Because you know in this world, you cannot be anything worse than a Christian or a Republican. And I love it. It blows Twitter's minds when you get somebody on there who's not straight, white, and male, and they say they're Republican, because don't you know that can't be possible? Minorities can never be Republican. Oh my God. No, but dude, I don't know what he expected to get with this when he put that on there.
Look, this is what I'm telling you. Like this, they posted this. They posted this.
They wanted the hits
to mock this guy, and probably knowing. Look, they're posting articles like this, calling out the GOP and stuff like that. They're
always against GOP on there, constantly.
So they're probably gonna take it back to Disney and be like, look at these chuds. This is who you're gonna pander to, Disney. Mm-hmm. You're better than this, Disney. Why would you pander to this guy?
Now, my opinion about their politics is I don't understand why we have to have politics with businesses. I don't understand it. And Disney, I didn't like the fact that they basically came straight out and said, if you don't vote to confirm Biden, we're not giving the Republican candidates money anymore. And I'm like, that's kind of seemed extortion-y to me. And that's what I had a problem with. I'm like, and people actually at the last investor call, with the investor meeting, it was an investor meeting, People said one of the things they were pushing for vote was more disclosure, transparency, and where the money is going and what political campaigns and stuff. Because people are like, Disney has all this money. Why are they spending it on politicians? And where is it going? Which was voted down and suggested to be voted down by the board.
Yeah.
So, or the Borg, as more aptly. So when people, even their investors, are trying to get more transparency, they're not letting them have it. So Disney, I think, is going to political. I don't think any company should be super political and should be outright, kind of low-key threatening people. I'm not going to give you money unless you vote my way. I mean, at least if you're going to do it, at least do it on a down low. Don't make it a big, I would have said the same thing if they had threatened Democrats. I would have said the exact same thing. I just think it was a bad look. And if you're going to do it, at least do it, have the courtesy to try to do it on the, behind the scenes. Don't publicly go, hey, by the way, if you don't vote the way you want, you don't get any more money.
If you're going to do dirty deeds, do them in secret.
That's right.
Don't broadcast it.
I mean, I thought that was really dumb, to be flat out.
So he's talking about how Walt Disney, which is true, people who actually, look, if you study Walt Disney, you will see he is very conservative. He was very patriotic. And he ratted out his own
I don't always necessarily agree with that either,
But he said, Disney used his corporation to express his patriotism during World War II and his pro-capitalist beliefs afterwards. The difference today is that the people who run Disney use social media to scream to the whole world that a decision has been made for political reasons.
And I don't disagree with that. I'm like, if you're going to make a decision and it's legitimately for the greater good, legitimately for these reasons, then yes. But we know Disney. Disney does not make these decisions just for that reason. They're making decisions for high fives and woke points. And then next year, when it's a different thing they're petitioning for, you'll see decisions made for that.
Yeah, so talking about the Jungle Cruise, Trader Sam getting gone, saying every grown-up in the room realizes that Trader Sam is not a representation of reality and is meant as a funny and silly caricature.
But they're trading it for gorillas or chimpanzees.
Right? Like, that's better. It's no more based in racism than every Disney caricature of the out-of-touch white American dad.
Well, that's not untrue.
The next time I ride the Jungle Cruise, I will not be thinking about the gloriously entertaining puns of the skippers. We're not going to have any gloriously entertaining puns because things that they say might be offensive.
Might hurt someone's feelings. As soon as one person complains, they're not allowed to say anything anymore.
Yep, I'm going to be thinking of Disney's political agenda, and that's a mood killer. Now he's saying that Song of the South. And we're going to talk about that because that one's complicated. Disney proclaims that Splash Mountain must change because of its association with Song of the South. Disney owns Splash Mountain, so it can do with it what it wants. But if Disney screams at the top of its corporate voice, which is pretty loud, that it's changing to appease a certain political point of view, now every time I look at the ride, I'm thinking about politics. Song of the South. Okay, so even when they built Splash Mountain, they were designing Splash Mountain, it came up.
Yes, I remember.
They were like, is this really a good idea? Do we really want to be doing this? And the last time it was shown in theaters, as I recall, was around 1986.
Yeah, I think I went to see it when I was around that age.
So that being said, to say that there wasn't any controversy around Song of the South isn't really true. Now, they don't bring up Uncle Remus. They don't have any human characters.
It's just the animals.
It's just the animals. And the reason that they designed it the way that they did, at least in Disneyland, was because they had all these animatronics from America Sings.
Yes. And it's cheaper to reuse animatronics than make a bunch of new ones.
Right. So they were able to reuse a lot of the animal characters in the attraction. And they kind of cut the connection to the Song of the South. They don't broadcast, this is the Song of the South racism ride. It's like, no, it's Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, and even beyond the movie, like those characters had actually moved beyond the movie. I worked on a number of Disney comic books. Those characters were hugely popular in the Netherlands. Now, they don't have all the baggage that they have over here, but the Brer characters were very, very popular in the comics.
Well, a lot of people are insulted because they're trying to erase it, and they said that it erases legacies of actual Black people by doing so.
So that's the other side of it. There are, Black folks who are actually upset that they're taking out.
But Twitter says that's not true. Twitter says you're all right because you're all straight white men.
Well, I'm just going to point to this petition. This petition has 4 times as many signatures to keep Splash Mountain the way that it is versus changing it. Now, here's the thing. They made a big show, and this is where I'm with this guy, because they made a big show about being like, oh, look how woke we are, guys. Look, we're going to change it to Princess and the Frog. They already had talked about that.
It was a long-going rumor before the announcement.
10
years. Art was like, boom, there's the art. Like, it wasn't in a week, and they had concept art. Well-established design concept art.
Yeah, and the reason for that is this had been talked about for a while. They just used the political climate to push it through.
Right, because I guarantee you they wanted to do this, but they knew it would get a ton of pushback. They knew people were going to be pissed about it, because every time the rumor got mentioned, people got mad. So now they could use it like, oh, we're doing this for that reason, for political reasons, and if you say anything bad, just like we see with Star Wars and everything else, it's because you're an istophobe, horrible person who doesn't understand that, you're being a racist and don't understand it. But the reality of the situation was, they're going to do it anyway. And the reason is...
Money. Princess merch sells better than furry merch in Disney, right? So they know and honestly, I think they had one eye on Splash Mountain when they were actually developing Princess and the Frog. I think if it had been a bigger box office hit,
it would have already been changed before.
Yeah, it wasn't that big of a hit, unfortunately, and it ended 2D animation at Disney, which really sucks, for theatrical animation, but I think they were already looking at, because there are a lot of things that you can see. And, they've got steamboats, paddle wheelers in it. They can reuse that element. They've got the swamp setting. They can reuse that. I just kind of wonder, again, it's in New Orleans, which in Disneyland, Splash Mountain's right next to New Orleans.
Right.
It makes sense. I have to wonder if part of the motivation wasn't they designed the movie to have synergy with the ride.
But again, this whole, we're only doing it because it's the right thing to do. No, Disney was going to do it anyway. Yeah. They just used that period and to leverage it and leverage what's going on Twitter, leverage what's going on in the world, using people to get it out there and get support for something they knew was going to go over like a lead fart, as my mom would say.
Yeah. So Pirates of the Caribbean, we know that they were actually booed. Disney was actually booed at D23.
Nobody asked for that change.
Nobody asked for it.
When you looked into it, it was an internal group of women or something that decided it. It wasn't even something people had asked for.
Yeah.
I'm a redhead. I wasn't even effing offended at all. And I'm actually the person that was represented in that scene. And again, I was a fat woman too. Wasn't offended.
I love you. There was more motivation behind this. Nobody was asking for that scene to be changed. Not a vocal majority of people. But they introduced us to a female pirate. They took a popular character that was very merchandisable, and they turned her into a pirate, almost like, hey guys, if we reboot the Pirates franchise with a female lead, we need a female character from the attraction. Again, this is how Disney thinks, guys. Like, nothing they're doing. I mean, all this talking about politics, I do think it's true to a certain extent, but it's actually worse than that, because it's like they're couching their pure greed and their pure financial motivation in a blanket of political correctness.
Right, to act like we're on the side of good. They were going to do it anyway. They're just using you to try to make the announcement to get the least amount of pushback that they can get.
Yeah, even before the Amber Heard controversy, I mean, the Pirates change was 2017? Even before the Amber Heard controversy blew up the way it did, they were probably looking to replace Johnny Depp, because the Pirates movies hadn't been performing at the box office as well as they were, and he's very expensive. And he's getting older. And they're probably like, yeah, we're going to have to do something to keep this going, so let's introduce a female pirate.
The only place that was doing really well was China, which I want to point out about Splash Mountain. Tokyo is not changing theirs.
No, they are not.
Because they are not owned by Disney. They are not changing their Splash Mountain. They basically said hell to the no. It's staying the way it is.
People don't understand how popular the Brer characters are overseas. Again, there's a lot of baggage attached to them here in the States, but Netherlands, Asia, they're very, very popular characters. They just look at them as being funny Disney animal cartoons.
Right.
But there's all kinds of merch over there. And I think Tokyo will probably keep theirs open.
But, they're saying Disney screams at its top this corporate voice. That's what this is about. This is about, stuff they knew was going to be a hard sell, and then using political agendas and climates to make these changes, and to say, oh, look how supportive we are. We're on your side. They're only on Disney's side. They're just using you.
Yeah, Disney plays everybody. And that's not to say that Disney doesn't produce good stuff. I mean, I would love for Disney to go back to where they were 20 years ago, where, look, all these companies, all these studios have agendas that obviously they're manipulating things behind the scenes, whatever. But I guess the difference between then and now is it wasn't so overt.
Yeah, I guess that's what I mean. They would just can the political bullshit. I mean, if they're making a big deal. Look at us. We have this new key for diversity and inclusion. My next comment was, why weren't you being like having diversity and inclusion before you needed to because it was trendy? Why were you not out there making these hires? If you're so up on diversity and inclusion, why weren't you doing this for decades before you're trying to use it for points and publicity? I mean, which is shittier? The fact that you're using it now that it's a popular topic, or the fact that you didn't do it for years and now you're suddenly trying to course correct and using it to get yourself high fives?
Yeah.
I'm like, if you were so up on all this stuff and you're such a great company, why weren't you taking care of your people before this? Why were you treating your cast members the way you were before this? Why weren't you hiring diverse people before this? Well, actually, they were. There was a lot of people that worked at Disney that weren't white. Just FYI.
Yeah.
And they weren't male either.
Yeah, and this is why Abigail Disney gets so pissed off, because she sees them lay off tens of thousands of employees and then turn around and give $11 million bonuses to their executives. You know,
It was a white woman.
by the way, yeah. So
Most
there's
of their
that.
executives are white. Well, until recently. Now they're trying to change that.
Well, I mean, this is what he's talking. He's talking about the immersion is lost because now all you think about is politics. And again, if you're going to make these changes, that's the thing. Like,
Make it, but don't make it about politics.
if you're going to make it, yeah, and don't like hit people upside the head, because basically what you're doing is, you know, it's not going to play well. So, but you're preemptively calling your customers awful people so they don't say anything, so they don't complain.
Right, because I don't want people to think I'm a bad person.
Right.
Oh my God, you're right. If I say that looks like I'm racist, I don't want to be thought of as that. So I'm just not going to say anything.
And that is what I believe the purpose of the Orlando Sentinel posting this guy's article was to be like, look, Disney, this is who you're pandering to. Oh my God, this guy's not going to be happy with anything.
Meanwhile, Disney keeps upping prices, upping experiences, raising the cost of like the tour groups and all that, the VIP tours and everything else, because they were chasing the people with money.
Yeah.
They spent years chasing the people with money, and now they're trying to chase the politically correct image. But you better believe at the back end they still want the people with money.
Well, that's the thing, because look, I'm not going to try to categorize people, but a lot of people with money are capitalists. And a lot of capitalists tend to lean conservative, at least fiscally. So, pissing them off probably isn't going to make you more money. Plus you're in Florida. You are in Florida. You're in ground zero, conservative central. And you've got, all these local pass holders and all this stuff, and you're going to...
Well, because Orlando isn't conservative.
Orlando isn't, but the rest of Florida is. A lot of people down south have annual passes.
You know that people who work at Disney and higher ups were.
Okay, so I'm going to tell the story again, because a lot of people haven't heard it. I've told a couple times in previous videos, but this is your first video. So I used to be on Disney's approved media list. Used to go to, when we ran another blog, used to go to a lot of media events with Disney people. I can tell you, one event in particular, we were all having lunch, and I was literally the only non-Republican at the table, because they were all going on and on about how much they liked Tucker Carlson, how much they liked Fox News. And these were all executives, higher-ups at Disney. Every single one of them was going on about politics, but it was conservative politics. I'm just saying, this was like 3 or 4 years ago, but there are a lot of conservatives who work at the Walt Disney Company, especially in Florida.
Mm-hmm. Disney goes after the money. I'm going to tell you. It's like they keep having this stuff, and they always call it things like, signature experiences. If you go to signature dining, you have to use 2 dining credits because it costs twice as much. They're signature experiences. That's what they're banking on. Well, they just put this article up today on the Parks blog about the Disney Wish. And it's written by this woman who's the public relations manager for Disney Signature Experiences. Now, I just want to read the way they describe this stuff. Now, you tell me who they're pandering to, okay? So they're talking about, here, let me find the one part. The spellbinding, wait, here, this is better. The spellbinding grand hall, a bright, airy, and elegant space that will welcome guests as they first step on board, and the truest embodiment of the enchantment motif. Its fairy tale castle-inspired design is touched by Gothic, Baroque, and French Rococo influences that will give life to the columns, carvings, trimmings, and adornments.
Where's the wine pairing?
The Grand Hall is Disney Cruise Line's castle on the seas, an enchanted realm where glittering trails of pixie dust climb majestic 3-story columns.
My God.
Spill across the ceiling and animate the shimmering chandelier above the effusive. I'm trying to read from a distance. Burst of magic. The chandelier is the manifestation of wishes come true. A swirling spiral of crystal gems punctuated with light. Its crown jewel, a wondrous wishing star.
Sounds like some fruity-ass anime.
Better. At the base of the grand staircase, beneath the glow of the wishing star, will stand the personification of wish fulfillment herself, Cinderella. A pillar of the Walt Disney Company's legacy, Cinderella's story is the epitome of magic, transforming wishes into dreams and dreams into reality. The beautiful bronze statue of this beloved and kind princess is just one of the many tributes to her story in the Grand Hall's design. The others include railings that glisten with elegant stained glass in her signature colors. Rich carpeting embellished with icons from the film and sophisticated nods to her carriage and glass slipper and the delicate metalwork and light fixtures. The Grand Hall will be the enchanted gateway to everything that awaits on board a Disney Wish. Fairy tale worlds, heroic challenges, Epicurean indulgences, thrilling adventures, galactic encounters, and peaceful escapes, and so much more. Now, who do you think they're pandering to with this barf-inducing bullshit?
Oh my God, check the prices on the Disney cruises, by the way. Disney Cruise Line is incredibly expensive.
So do you think that they're gearing this to the every person, you know, the people that, you know, everybody that's out there, the diversity and inclusion initiative people and everything else?
No, because I'm going to be honest. The people that they're, look, I have said this before, and I might need to tweet this again. These studios, these companies don't have the audiences they want. They have the audiences they have, and they need to keep those audiences happy to stay in business. They're trying to chase, well, if they're trying to chase socialists, they're not going to have a lot of money to spend, probably.
No. They're going to outwardly be like, look, we're doing this for politics, diversity, inclusion, because we support all this. We added a fifth key. We're supporting all this.
Now shut up and pay us.
Yes.
Shut up. We gave you your BLM. Shut up and give us money.
Right. You know, that's all about at the end of the day. It's about, you know, showboating. It's about high fives, and it's about money. And I don't have to agree with everything this person says, but not everything he says is wrong either.
And this is the thing. This guy is actually pretty indicative of Disney's, you know, the core audience they've been chasing. Again, rich, you know, middle
or well off, at least
you know, upper middle class. He's somebody said he was a lawyer. They looked into him. He was a lawyer or something.
Wait, they're doxing him now?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry, Mom.
So yeah, people who, you know, their family vacations are all Disney.
He's a lawyer. I wouldn't be they're doxing him.
Yeah. So that's what I heard. I mean, I don't know for 100% sure, but we've got, you know, people getting pissed off on Twitter. This grown ass man is pissed because they made the Pirates of the Caribbean ride less rapey and may change the theme of Splash Mountain from fucking Song of the South. Removing reference to sex, slave trade, and racism is just absolutely ruining his Walt Disney World experience.
Well, I'm a redhead, and I didn't find it rapey and offensive. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, here. To no one's surprise, the dude who is angry about inclusive Disney policies and doesn't understand why Song of the South is political is a deputy district attorney.
You know what else gets me? Is a lot of people that are having the biggest meltdown on here probably don't even go to Disney.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's entirely true. They don't, because a lot of these people have problems with Disney for many reasons, and not to be a dick, but a lot of people on Twitter, frankly, can't afford Disney. Disney has priced out the middle class a long time ago, other than annual pass holders. Again, annual pass holders, predominantly from Florida and the South, predominantly probably conservative, not a very good idea to piss them off.
Annual passes, unless you live close to the parks, there are people with money, or like in our case, it's because we go down there to cover stuff for a job. But, you know, the DVC people and all that, it's not cheap. You know, I mean, I don't know. They've been catering to these people for so long. I mean, the Riviera is how many hundreds of dollars a night?
And the beds fall off the wall.
And you know what? Yeah. And you know what? I've been to these different resort hotels. I've seen people that have gone in and out of them. They're not all white.
That is true.
I know. Hard to believe, right? There are people that aren't white that have money and might be offended by these things. I know. Hard to believe.
Some of the biggest spenders, I would say, are from South America. You see some people come in. I mean, they've got the tour groups and stuff too, but you got some people that they obviously... Look, if they can travel abroad to go to Disney World, which is way overpriced for what it is, they got money. Mm-hmm. They got money.
I'm just saying, for someone to be upset because they feel like the immersion might be ruined... I'm not agreeing because I honestly don't have problems with the changes so far, unless it becomes a problem. I don't have a problem with it. Most of the cast members are pretty cool. I don't think they're going to push it too far. But he's not completely wrong either. Disney has been charge you what they charge for this immersive experience, the pixie dust magic. They're putting the commercials. It's just you and your kid walking down the street, which I can assure you is not the case.
That is never the case.
Everybody comes in there and they spent a lot of money, so they feel like they're owed some things because they're owed this Disney vision, this Disney dream, and they have expectations from Disney that Disney has themselves set into place. So I can understand why some people would be upset about the changes or concerned about the changes. That being said, I don't agree with everything this person said, but I think that Twitter is going too far as well.
Yeah, it's Twitter's just pissed because it's Twitter, but it's trending. It's one of the top trending stories. They're probably getting tons and tons of ad revenue off of this.
That's why they did it, because this is not something a Sentinel would usually post.
No, but I think they're also going to point at this guy and laugh, to themselves and be like, this is everything that's wrong with Disney. If Disney were smart, they would look at this and be like, how much money did this guy spend last year? Because some of these Disney super fans drop $20,000, $30,000 a year on Disney or more. Depends on what they're doing. Disney Cruise, you're not getting off Disney Cruise $5,000, $10,000 easy. A trip to the parks for a family of 4, a modest trip to the park is going to set you back $5,000 or $6,000.
Yeah, probably. If you have flights and stuff too. Yeah. I mean, you can do it less, obviously.
Yeah, but it
depends where you stay and everything else. I'm just saying, Disney would be mad, but they created this problem.
Yeah.
They could have been more inclusive for years and weren't. They have been presenting themselves as this company that offers this experience. Now they're trying to walk that back, and now they're getting pushed back. And it's going to be interesting to see how this goes down.
Good luck with that.
I think it's going to be worse at Disney World than Disneyland, because Disneyland I don't think is as ridiculous.
No, Disneyland has always been more of a locals park, but Disney World is definitely a premium experience.
Yeah, Disney. I don't think they would have half as much trouble as Disneyland as they are Disney World. But Disney World is considered something different than Disneyland. But
anyway, we'll see what happens. We will see if Disney takes a look at their bottom line and they're like, yeah, you know what?
Well, I'm wondering if there's gonna be a lawsuit about this because they're trying to out this guy on Twitter and cause him trouble.
Yeah, well,
so I'm kind of wondering to see how this goes.
It's Twitter. They dox everybody for
someone who looks like 300 pounds of chewed bubble gum and who once pushed an execution despite Nevada not certifying the lethal injection cocktail is welcome to stay the hell away from Disney World while my kids and I rejoice in not hearing Song of the South.
Okay. They just played Zippity Doo Dah.
Who paid more for their vacation? That's what Disney's going to get.
Yeah, I mean, for all their, that's the thing. That's, the chips are going to be down. We're going to see where Disney actually stands on things. And this is why companies, they can't win. They go political. They think they're winning, but you're actually...
Just stay apolitical.
Stay out of it. Just make Mickey Mouse cartoons.
If you're going to make changes, make the changes and don't make a big show of politics. Just change them because say, hey, we think it should be updated. Yeah. Leave it at that. You could avoid yourself so much hassle. You're going to do it anyway. You pander to people, and this is what happens. On both sides. Pandered to people like him for years, and this is what you're getting for that too. So
the roosters are coming home. We're going to wrap it up. Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.